The views and opinions expressed by the following program are those of the host, guest, and callers and are not necessarily those of this station or the Webster Rockhill Ministries, its management, or other host or underwriting sponsors. Programs presented on KWRH-LP are for educational and entertainment purposes only.
Welcome back to In Tune. This is Arnold Stricker with Ellie Wharton.
I am still here.
You're still here, but you're headsetless.
Headsetless. I know. Is that like a bad omen thing? Do we have to worry about that?
Yeah, it's because the headsets don't work. It's Friday the 13th.
With a full moon.
With a full moon. Yeah, it's the harvest moon. Uh-oh, we all better just stop what we're doing right now.
And go harvest.
I won't say the other one. That would not be good,
is this
folks.
A good day for mooning?
Good day for mooning, right? Hey!
Grease is over.
On
Grease is
live Facebook, it's a good day for mooning. No, sorry, folks. That was the voice of Andrew Kuhlman, and we also have Zoe Vonder Haar here.
And I can't believe that these two people are telling me they're nervous.
They're both theater people.
I know. Come on. They're supposed to be able to jump up on this table, do a song and dance. You know.
You haven't asked me to do that yet. Yeah.
Well, you used the word yet.
Now, Zoe has a lot of experience doing song and dance.
I do.
When I read this, I was like, you got to be kidding me. 2 years touring in the first international company of a chorus line.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, I was much younger.
We all were younger.
It was a fabulous experience, and the timing was perfect. It was, I got to work with Michael Bennett.
Wow.
It was sort of the end of the very first excitement of it. That's how old I am, yes.
And you were touring in the United States and Canada, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. And you had your car with you, right?
How do you know all this?
I've done my background work.
Don't look at me.
That's very fascinating.
Arnold,
yes, I had
Arnold
my car.
knows things about people that you would be amazed.
Okay, that's kind of creepy. That's Friday the 13th, kind of creepy. Yes, it was wonderful to have your car because then I got to do all the touristy things and travel the country.
So whereabouts, what cities were you in? Just the large major metropolitan areas? Or
Mostly, yes. Okay. All over the States, Canada. Detroit was not my favorite. That was the one city where my Volkswagen convertible, where somebody cut the top off and stole all of my wedding gifts. It was right after I got married.
Oh, bummer.
No.
Other than that, it was a fabulous experience.
And you went to high school, not at Webster Groves High, but in Webster Groves.
Yes, at Narings.
Did you? Oh, wow.
Narings Hall. I'm a Webster girl. Went to Mary Queen of Peace, Narings Hall.
Did all the good Catholic things.
Good Catholic thing.
Which makes this even more special because we're a local radio station, community radio station here.
I love that.
And we love promoting a lot of the things that go on locally here. And just to give you, our listeners, a little bit more background, you've been a member of the Stages family for 32 years. You portrayed Mama Rose in Gypsy. You were Mame Dennis in Mame, Dolly Levi in Hello, Dolly. Got the Kevin Kline
Man, you
Award.
have had like all of the major roles, right?
Well, I've been very lucky to have what I call the trifecta. Those three roles to me are dream roles for any female actress. But I'm basically a character actress. That's a lesson I learned at Narings Hall. An interesting story. Well, it is to me. My senior year of high school, we were doing Fiddler on the Roof. And I wanted to be the dancing daughter or the singing mother.
She was a great Tevye, though. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
You gave it away. But I did not get cast in those, and I was mortified. And it was my first real lesson to learn about the puzzle pieces of casting. And yes, you can dance. Yes, you can sing. Yes, you could have played those roles. But you're a really good character actress. So I wound up playing Yenta, the matchmaker. And that was really the first time I had ever played a role that didn't have a song or dance to fall back on. And so I learned the joys of character actress, and I would not be working if I had not learned that. If I was just a singer-dancer, I would clearly be unemployed.
So after high school, did you go to college to major in theater?
I did not. I was planning on going on to Webster. But then my senior year of high school, I also learned that I have some major anxiety in classroom situations. I had to drop out of theater and speech because getting up in front of a class was really devastating to me. I couldn't do it. And my sister went to Webster, and I knew what you would have to do. I just knew I couldn't do it.
Now here we have, I want to interrupt you, because here we have one of the most prominent actresses in St. Louis, who is like what I would say the queen of actresses, has done multiple roles at the Sheldon, as stages again. Were you at the Muni?
The Muni. I work at the Muni and the Rep.
So the Rep. So she's very well known in St. Louis area. So how do you get from being scared to perform in front of people to the notoriety that you have in all of these roles and the acclaims that you received?
Well, I'm not scared on stage. There's the difference.
Okay.
When you have a script and you become somebody else and you're up on stage. I was talking earlier about my first professional show was doing Haar, and I had no problems, taking my clothes off on
Stripping
stage.
down, yeah.
Stripping down, golly.
Well, you've got that wall there. You're not you. So I think I just have the anxiety about being me and maybe not being.
Now, see, Haar, that would have been the part for me. I mean, because I saw
Would have been
Haar.
a part for me, too.
I could see where, when you got to the part where you had to drop your clothes, that would be one that would be a little bit difficult. I mean, like, how often did you practice that?
Oh, a lot. And it was handled very well. It started off slowly, and it was not mandatory. And we started the process in a closed room with only the cast, and you could do what you wanted. And when you're in the moment and in the story, you don't feel like you're stripping. There's
But you
a
should have been
reason
out.
for it.
You should have been out in the audience, though. Okay. It's like that moment when all of the clothes came off. I can remember because I knew that it was going to happen. So it was amazing because I saw it at the Fox, and I was amazed at how many people got up and walked out.
Yeah.
And I thought,
Well, they knew it was going to happen.
that's what I said. I said, come on, you knew this was going to happen. So now why all of a sudden the righteous indignation?
Right.
It's like, oh, they're nude. And it's like, you've never seen that before? No. Okay.
Or if you knew that was going to happen, why did you show up?
Yeah. Because the nude scene happens once. It's at the very end of the first scene. So guess
First
what?
act, yeah.
That's it. You're right. The first act. You knew that was what was going to happen. So I really kind of steeled myself for it, And then when it happened, it was kind of, because I was young the first time I saw it, it was kind of like, ooh.
Well, I remember my father came to see it, and I was a little nervous about that. But when I came out for Act 2, he had left, and I was a little bit devastated. But when I talked to him afterwards, it was not the nude scene. That didn't bother him at all. It was the politics and the religion. He was very Republican and very Catholic at the time, and he was upset by those kind of things. And I'm fine with that. It's a very jarring show. Yes.
So we're gonna come back to you. Want to kind of get Andrew in here a little bit. Andrew, you're the associate producer at
Correct.
Stages.
Yes, yeah.
All right, and a very young guy to be a producer type.
Yeah, and I noticed here on your notes that he was bitten. He was bitten in first grade, huh?
He was,
I was.
I've
It's
never
a
heard
horrible
this kind
story,
of bug before. It's called an acting bug.
The acting bug. Is that
Yes.
like the stink bug?
There are days, yes, yeah. There are definitely days, yeah.
Can be.
No, I was playing Santa in our Christmas pageant in kindergarten, and I'm standing on stage, middle of the stage, in my Santa Claus costume, and my mom, sitting front row, starts to notice that I'm uncontrollably, scratching myself. And I was given horrible hives from the costume.
Oh, my.
Was rushed off, taken to the emergency room. They had to send a teacher on with the script. And so from that moment, there was no turning back. If you can survive that, then you found your true calling.
Wow.
So he really was bitten by the bug.
there was
wasn't
something.
he?
Yeah, that was, for real there.
Yeah.
So you you enjoyed the theater.
I do, yes.
And went to university, Bradley University?
I went to Bradley University in Peoria, and I was a theater performance major there.
Okay.
Yeah, I came back to St. Louis and was an actor for a number of years here in the city. But then my job at Stages just kept growing, and then you got to make choices.
So you're a St. Louis guy, too?
St. Louis, born and raised, yes.
Okay, so we won't ask you the question, so don't
But
worry
not
about
Web-
it.
Yeah,
Webster.
we really don't want to know what high school you went to at all.
That's fine. Don't ask. Yeah.
Okay, well-
Francis Howell. Sorry.
Was it
Excuse
North
me.
or Central?
Where's that?
The original.
Oh, the
Francis
original.
Howell, the original.
Oh, the original
Yeah.
one. Okay, all right, very good. All right. So how do you move from a acting stage to a production stage, to a producing kind of thing? Because those are different kinds of roles.
Yes.
And explain the difference of those roles and how you transition between those.
Sure. So I love acting. That's what I studied in college. It was one of my favorite things in the world. Still love it. I'm sure there'll be a opportunity that pulls me back on stage at some point. But there was one point I remember where I took an internship with Stages. That's how I started in 2012. And I started learning. It was the Apprentice for Theater Leadership, which was this 360-degree view of the administrative side of a theater. And I went, I want to learn what that is. I have no idea what goes on. And so in taking that opportunity, I started seeing that there are so many people that get that curtain call, and that's a beautiful thing. And then there's those lovely designers and directors, but then there's this whole office somewhere where you get to provide the support and the background and safety and funding for these shows, and you are really an integral part of making theater happen just as much as the people on stage. And I thought that was a beautiful thing, to interact with those people that spend their lives going to the theater and supporting and giving their money to see shows. I love getting to be involved and getting to know those people and making every opportunity and experience they have at Stages or wherever better.
Wow, that's pretty incredible.
That is, and I learned that when the first time I ever interviewed Allison Felter at Opera Theater St. Louis.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And she told me, it's almost like you're saying the exact same thing that she said. We don't realize all that goes on behind the scenes. We see the actors and the actresses, but if you were to think about all of the myriad of people that are involved in a play, like you said, from the seamstress and the designers, the set designers, the lighting technicians.
Yes.
Just the orchestra, how often they have to practice in order to make sure that it all flows. The script writers.
Oh, yeah.
The young apprentice who walks around with the copies of scripts and hands them to people to go get the water, the runners. I mean, just so many
It
people
takes a
are
village.
involved.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. And there's the village of the office side too. Your marketing team,
Your marketing,
your
that's right.
fundraising, your finance, your box office, the people selling tickets. Those are the first people you meet from a theater company.
That is so true. Yeah. And if you have a bad experience at the box office, it just colors everything else that happens that evening.
I love our box office.
I mean, you get there and it's like, I came to pick up my tickets, please. And then the tickets aren't there.
Yeah, isn't that's all? Oh, okay, sure. That's this is a different day now.
But you're right. The box office people are so
front line.
They're the front line. Mm-hmm. You are right. They're like the driver on the bus.
I'll give a shout out to our box office director, Candy Hageman. She's the best.
Absolutely.
She's one of the hardest working people I know, and I love the Stages box office. Every staff member in there they're the people. They're the heartbeat.
And they understand that when you get there and you're excited and then all of a sudden something happens, your tickets aren't there, or they're not in the, that can really be a very devastating thing at the moment. But they tend to make you feel, and I've noticed this about front box people, they make you feel like it's okay.
Oh, yeah, we'll fix it.
We
got you. We got you. Yeah.
And that's a good feeling, because so often, we live in the land of no, where it's always like, honey, I don't see tickets here with your name on it.
Good luck.
Good luck. Yeah. Sounds like a you problem. Yeah. Yes, you're dressed up. You better go eat dinner somewhere.
Without reservations.
Yeah.
Good luck with that one, too.
Yeah.
So as associate producer, tell us a little bit about the day-to-day kinds of detail things that you do, because people see associate producer and they're like, Well, what the heck does that person do?
Sure. So I oversee a number of our teams on the administrative side. I like to say that my life revolves around the administrative facet of the organization. So I oversee our development/fundraising team, our marketing team, finance, box office, the admin team at the office. I work a lot with the administrative team for our academy that we have. We do teach a lot of classes for students year-round, thousands of students here in St. Louis. And then I also work with our board of trustees quite a bit and serve as the liaison between the board and the artistic team. It's a big job. Like I said, I started as an intern, and I'm so thankful that now I have my favorite part of my job is representing the people that work at stages. I love getting to protect them, help them, speak for them, and just do the best I can to make their lives better, because they're dedicating their time every moment of their days to our organization. So whatever I can do for them, that's what it's about.
You know, I love the fact that you started as an intern, because that means that you saw it from the ground level.
Yeah.
You know, you were the guy who was there late at night cleaning out the toilet. You know, and you worked.
That may have happened.
It does happen. You know, but you worked your way up, and the fact that you saw every step along the way gives you the greater compassion now to do the work and to appreciate every person who is there.
Oh, immensely. I was very lucky. I was kind of attached to Jack Lane from day one, our executive producer at Stages. Jack and I work pretty hand in hand together on everything. And I remember he walked into, we do a family theater show every year for families, sponsored by Emerson. And I designed the study guide for it my first year when I was still in my internship. And Jack comes in with his serious office face on into our suite. And he has it in his hand and he goes, "Who did this?" And I went, "Oh, today is my last day at Stages." and I go, "I did." And he goes, "It's fantastic. Come to my office." And we've been attached at the hip ever since. So it's been crazy.
That's cool. That's cool.
That's a great story.
I've worked with him here at Stages. He just lead produced a show called The Prom on Broadway, and I was a co-producer on that. That was my first Broadway experience working on a Broadway show this year.
Congratulations on the honor that you got.
Thank
nominated
you.
for Tony Award, but you also got an award. It's the
Drama Desk. We won the Drama Desk for Best Musical, which was
that's a big deal.
It was a huge deal, and being at the Tonys was a lot of fun. It was a cool night.
And lots of St. Louis involvement in that production.
So much St. Louis, the theater world here is so vivacious. It really is. And it's just a stellar community of, 30 plus professional theater companies right here in this city. There is always something in the arts for people to go see. There are so many wonderful shows playing right now. We've got Man of La Mancha at Stages. We've got Angels in America Part 1 and 2 at the Rep. Shakespeare in Love at Insight. There are incredible productions that are happening here that people need to get out and see. Yeah. But Man of La Mancha first.
Shameless plug.
And second.
And Zoe, my question for you relates now to your chorus line, because I think how you became a dancer. Where'd you learn to sing? Were you taking dance lessons all the way along?
I did.
When you were growing up, and voice lessons, or did you just kind of develop that or take some private lessons? Or
Well, I started dance when I was 3. My sister was already taking dance, so that was just kind of a thing we did. So I guess that's where I wanted to be a dancer. My father was a musician and a singer, so we always sang at home. Halloween was... My household didn't get to tell jokes. We had to sing 3-part harmonies, which some neighbors loved, but the children behind us hated. Come on, move along.
Yeah, plus you got all the goodies, too.
We did get extra
And an
goodies.
encore, huh?
But I've always loved to sing. And I would go and audition. My sister became a choreographer, and I would go audition to be in the dancing chorus, and they would always have you sing. And then they'd hear me sing, and then they'd have me read. And it sounds very weird, but at the time, I'd come home with a role and be disappointed because I just wanted to be in the dancing chorus. But I do have that love for dance. So doing chorus line was pretty special to me because it is a show about dancers and what do you do when you can't dance. So I've been blessed that I can sing and can act, and I love being a character actress. And
It's such a great show. It's
a very unique, special show, and getting to do it with Michael Bennett and and seeing his intention and seeing a lot of the original people.
It's enduring.
Yes.
It's coming back to stages
is.
next
Right.
year,
Yeah.
actually,
Next
in
year.
our 2020 season.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll
Okay.
open it up.
I think I should be Zach.
That makes
I think
sense.
we should
yeah.
do some role reversals.
That's apt. As long as I can be Cassie, then I think we can
all right.
make that happen. Yeah.
Done.
I like it.
Right here. You heard it first here, folks.
You look good in that color, Andrew.
Of course.
So do you go looking for jobs? This is kind of a question for people out there who are not theater-related people, because the theater-related people who are aspiring, they'll take any role that they can get to get their name out there. Did you have an agent? Did you just knock on doors? Did you have contacts that said, hey, you need to check Zoe? Or did you throw resumes around? Did you do a bunch of auditions? How did you get that break to kind of get into the business? Because it's very difficult to break in.
It is, and I am probably not the norm. I've just been very blessed. When I was touring, I became pregnant, and my husband and I moved back to St. Louis because I didn't want to have kids in New York. I was actually doing a show on the Goldenrod. I worked there for a couple years.
Yeah.
When Michael Hamilton came down with his mom and saw a show one night and said, hey, I want to start a theater. It was very Mickey Rooney, Judy Garland moment for me. And so that's where I started working with stages from the beginning, and then auditioned at the Muni and did stuff at the Rep. But I'm not a good door knocker. I don't audition a lot because I also teach and I choreograph. And so I've just been blessed that I audition for these theaters and get cast as much as I possibly can.
And you've done some work in Chicago too, right? Is that correct?
Michigan. I've been
okay.
Actually, Michigan called me because they had seen some videos of a show that I did at Stages, and they were doing that show, It Should Have Been You. And they contacted me, and small world, it turns out that the director told the artistic director to find this woman named Zoe Vonder, and he's like, wait, I know her. And it turns out that I had played his mother at Stages in 2000, and he was college roommates with Ed Huvier, who is a very well-known actor at Stages. Small world. I love it when all those worlds connect. So that's how I got to the theater in Michigan, and now I've been there 4 times. I'm going back to do the Cake there in the spring. I did I Should Have Been You and Bridges of Madison County, and Doll's House Part 2. I did that there last year.
So how do you transition from, I'll just I'm not trying to be blunt about this, but when you're young, you can play certain roles. Then when you get older, like we're seasoned, the 3 of us here right now.
That's right.
The roles change a little bit, or you develop into other productions that maybe you didn't have a chance to play. Is that how you approach that, or is that how things come to you, or?
Mine is not so difficult because I've been playing old ladies since high school, so I'm finally aging into the roles that.
Me too. It's been really
You've
weird.
been playing old ladies since you were in high
it's
school?
very strange.
I mean, as a character actress, it's probably a little different than if I were the ingenue, and then aged out of those roles. So I don't quite have the same problem. I probably have more competition now, though, because now the actresses that I've been playing their mothers for years might now be in my age characters. So it's like, all right, I used to be the only old lady around, and now, well, that's not nice. Now I'm calling my colleagues old ladies. That's
You didn't
not
name any names.
exactly how I meant it to come
Yet.
out. But I just love playing character actresses. It's
Now, I want to go to, when we come back from the break, a little bit about landing stages where it is, and there's also performances out in Chesterfield. Is that correct?
We have our Performing Arts Academy is out in Chesterfield that serves students pre-K all the way through high school and trains thousands of students a year in the musical theater arts.
Okay, and I want to get into that particular program because I think it's important that youngsters who have the interest and the talent to know, what do I do with this? How do I develop this? And what are some things I need to do? And I will always ask you the questions, what advice will you give to young budding theater actors and actresses and dancers and singers and things like that? So prompt that question, keep that one in your head, because that's always, I always find the answers interesting, and some of them are very similar. Some of them are a little different, but I'll be interested with your take on that when we come back from the break on that. So we've been talking to Zoe Vonder, who is, I would say, the deaness of actresses in St. Louis.
That's right.
And Andrew Kuhlman, who's associate producer of stages here in St. Louis. You're listening to Arnold Stricker with Ellie Wharton of In Tune. This is KWRHLP 92.9 FM, your community radio station in Webster Groves, Missouri. Jamming time here at In Tune. Welcome back with
We are
Ellie Wharton.
jamming.
We are
Hey.
jamming.
I know. Too bad our radio friends couldn't see what we were doing.
Oh my gosh.
But our Facebook friends were getting into it with us.
This carpet and the rug's all spun up right now. Zoe Vonder and Andrew Kuhlman here in studio from the production at Stages St. Louis of Man of La Mancha. And we were talking off air with Andrew about one of the large moments, and there's no pun intended.
No.
I wasn't going there with that. But it was a very important part in his life that occurred in 2016. And Andrew, why don't you fill our listeners in?
Sure. So the gentleman the Facebook Live people are seeing right now is very different than who I was for a long time in my life. I was always a big guy, and at my biggest, I got up to I weighed over 600 pounds, 619 pounds to be exact. And then one day in 2016, when people that you love and they love you, one of them actually this lady right here, when those people start expressing concern for the state that you're in, you got to start listening to it, because love is the only language that really matters. And so I remember I got frustrated. I hated that people were talking about it. I was like, yeah, I'm big, but I'm tall and I can hold this. And
That's right, I'm tall.
Yeah. And you come up with a lot of those excuses. And I went to a doctor's office and thought, I'll go talk to this nutritionist and get people off my back. And I honestly thought I weighed about 450 pounds. And when I saw the scale say 619, I said, can you please give me a minute? And the nurse left, and I took a moment and I cried right there. And I took a second, and I started a diet that day. I started a diet that day, a lifestyle change. And I've lost, in a little over a year and a half, I actually got down to my goal weight, and then just through diet and exercise. And then in January, I had surgery to remove some extra skin that I had left over. And
Repeat that phrase that you used
sure,
on
yeah.
the break about
Yeah.
that.
I like to say that when you have a bag of groceries, you can take the groceries out, but the bag's still there. And you have to do something with the bag. And so this January, I got rid of the bag, and it felt really good. It was nice, yeah.
But you said it was how many pounds worth?
It was 22 pounds of extra skin that they removed, actually. Dr. C.B. Boswell right here in St. Louis. He was the best.
Isn't that amazing? And to look at you, I never would have guessed that. But one of the things I want to say that really, really ruminates with me is your joy, your zest for life.
Oh, thank you.
You just come across, you're very infectious in that it's like, I want to be around him.
Oh, thanks. That's so nice of you.
I want to be around
Yeah.
Zoe too, but but you do have a way of demonstrating your gratitude for how your life has evolved and changed.
I've been I consider myself lucky in a lot of regards. I work full-time and live a life supported by the arts and the arts in St. Louis, and that does not happen a lot. And I have so many people to thank for that. The actors at Stages, my boss, Jack. I also have these people that I love and they love me who said things or gave me looks to make me think, okay, this has gotten to a place where I need to change things around. And you do that, and it's a hard journey. It really is, but it's worth every second of it, because you're not just doing it for yourself, you're doing it for those around you that impact you as well. And I don't think I would be in the place I am today had I not lost that weight, had I not, I don't like the phrase losing weight though. I say releasing weight, because when you lose weight, when you lose your car keys, you got to find your car keys again.
That's right.
But when you release something, it is
Interesting
gone.
perspective.
And I believe it's so much more, it's a mental journey just as much as it is a physical one. It's about deciding I'm worth this, which is a really hard thing to do. And it takes time.
Well, kudos to you on
Thank
that,
you.
and telling that
Absolutely.
story. And folks, you may want to check our Facebook page out at Radio 63119 and pick up this interview on Facebook after the show. But because some of the off-air stuff is actually very heartwarming. Some of it's very funny, but it's very heartwarming also and encouraging. That's why we wanted Andrew to make that statement. Now, I wanted to go to the academy, and that academy is for what age level? And Zoe, are you involved in the academy? And Andrew, talk a little bit about that. I'll let both of you tag team off that a little bit.
Sure. You want to talk about the academy?
Yeah, I'll give the brief synopsis, but then we got to talk about how great of a teacher you are. So the Academy is actually celebrating its 15th anniversary this year,
Wow.
which is really exciting. But the Academy is designed for students pre-K all the way through high school. It's housed at our main administrative and education building in Chesterfield, the Kent Center for Theater Arts. And it teaches kids in a variety of different ways, all about the performing arts, classes in acting, dancing, singing, private lessons, productions, performance groups they can be a part of. And that's all right there in Chesterfield. And then it goes beyond. Theater accessibility is something that I'm extraordinarily passionate about, as is Stages. So we have these two incredible programs. One is called Access the Arts, and it is designed to give theatrical opportunities to students with physical, cognitive, or developmental delays. And then we have a program called Urban Arts Initiative, which goes into schools where theater funding has either been severely restricted or completely eliminated, and we will put theater programming and training into those schools at no cost.
Wow.
It's extraordinarily important to us to make theater a part of everyone's life if they want it there. And I love it. And Zoe has taught with us many times and in some of our Urban Arts Initiative programming too.
Yes, and right now I work for the outreach program, so I go to various schools and direct and choreograph shows when they don't have theater programs in their schools.
That is absolutely, I mean, to me, that is just amazing to hear that, because we do know that art, and especially acting and production work, draws people together. It doesn't separate, it doesn't divide, it's a unifier. And to see those kinds of things taken out in our school systems, you know, is negating. It is devastating when they start to take out music and art and drama and those types of human arts, as I always call it.
I love that. That's a great phrase.
You can see the difference really in the students. I think to have those kinds of things they bring people together. I'm a thespian, and I think about all the time when I went into my thespian induction at school. And it really was one of those things where the whole school was really involved in it, because, you know, we had to pull these little pranks and do these little things, and everybody knew.
I was Troop 1917 right here. Yeah.
You know, I can remember they used to make us, the thespians, they used to make us make these huge chocolate chip cookies that were like the size of a pizza.
I would like one of those.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
And so we had to make one of those, you know, in order to give to the regular thespians as a way of showing that we were grateful for them accepting us. But then on the other hand, every time we ran into them in the hallway, we had to shout out to the top of our voice, "I am a lowly, dirty, scum of the earth thespian candidate."
What?
And here's your stupid chocolate chip cookie, dude.
That's very Shakespearean. Ours didn't get that severe.
Yeah, we were severe. We were here at Webster High with Miss Miser and in the little theater. And I mean, but you know, it was so much fun. Yeah. And the whole school knew when we were going through that.
Yeah, you're screaming, yelling about you're the lowly thespian and throwing cookies at people. Let's talk about the production of Man of La Mancha, which most people will think of, and when I think of that, I think of Peter O'Toole. Mm-hmm. And that, Zoe, you're the housekeeper in that?
I am the housekeeper, yes.
And so what is, how is this Man of La Mancha different than what people might think from the movie? I know it's kind of got a little different spin on it because people know it from, The Impossible Dream.
Sure.
And
Well, I will say Peter O'Toole is an amazing actor, but our Don Quixote sings really, really well.
that's because Peter O'Toole doesn't sing.
I didn't say that. O'Toole
did.
Estate, please don't come after me. No, the special thing about this production is that Stages has created a world on stage that is inhabited by some of the best actors in St. Louis and from New York. It also is a scenic design and set unlike anything I've ever seen on our stage before. It's gloriously beautiful. It's stunning. And you get there and you are just enraptured from moment one to moment end. It is just a beautiful show that it's a straight through show. There's no intermission. It's about an hour, 50 minutes, and it's just straight through. It feels like it's 20 minutes. It flies by. And what I love most about Man of La Mancha, and what I love about the way Michael Hamilton, our artistic director, directs, is Michael takes a classic musical, something by Rodgers and Hammerstein, or a show like Man of La Mancha, and he honors and pays homage to the creators of that show by making it more accessible to a modern day audience, but also knowing that if Mitch Lay and Joe Darian and Dale Wasserman were here watching the show, they'd go, yeah, that's my show. It's a beautiful thing. He's just a translator of classic musical theater.
Because taking, things that have been produced for
decades.
Yeah, I was going to say, and it's not a bad thing, ad nauseum, in the same vein as the movie. People are like, oh, okay, there we go. It's the Impossible Dream again. But when you have to modernize something and give it new eyes, you really look at things through a whole nother perspective and lens. Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
lens.
And to really bring in other people who have never been involved in theater or have never seen Man of La Mancha. It's very similar to what opera theater does with making the dead white guy stuff. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago. No, it was last week. Last week, yeah, yeah, about the dead white guy composers. How you take something that's really old and make it fresh and make it so people will understand it and really enjoy it. So tell us about your role as the housekeeper. How have you approached that, and what do you like about it?
I like a lot of things about her. She's, well, first of all, we're all prisoners in this dungeon. And my particular character, I've noticed that most of the other I call them my dungeon mates.
Dungeonites.
Because we all choose how we're going to create our character in that dungeon. They're all pretty tough and have been around the block and know how to handle themselves, where my character and the one of Julie, who plays the niece, we're really scared and freaked out by everything. So we're the frightened women in the corner. And I kind of take that into the housekeeper role. She's a little bit nervous. She's concerned about his mental health and that he's seeking a love, and that perhaps he might think she is it, which I have a hard time keeping a straight face when I sing that every night. But I find that she grows throughout the show and that she has found courage. Michael had talked in the process about all of us transforming throughout the show, and how watching Cervantes do his little skit, how it would affect us and change our characters. And so I have found the courage by the end of the show to stand up, and it's what an amazing piece. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure people really remember it a lot. I know people come and they, like, I know the song, but I couldn't remember why he was singing it or what exactly is happening. And
at one point of the story is he singing it?
Right.
Yeah.
And I was in it the last time we did it. Was that 14, 15 years ago?
I think so, yeah.
And I didn't really remember. I mean, I knew we were in a dungeon and I knew we put on a skit, but to be honest, I couldn't really remember the details. And it was really lovely to reconnect with that story. And it's incredibly moving Incredibly moving.
Now you guys have The Boy from Oz. That's done already,
Yep,
right?
that started off our season.
And Grease.
Yep.
And you've got Man of La Mancha. And what else after Man of La Mancha?
Sure. So Man of La Mancha is actually the grand finale of
Okay.
the 2019 season, and we are preparing right now for 2020. We have been announcing what the 2020 season is just since last Friday, so I can say it
Go
say
ahead.
it on air.
Yeah.
So in 2020, we'll be doing a chorus line, which we've been talking about all day today, and then we'll be following that up with one of my favorite musicals of all time, which is La Cage aux Folles.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, if you're a fan of the movie The Birdcage. This is the
Yes.
musical version. Jerry Herman, masterpiece. It's beautiful. And then we're closing out the season with the biggest hit in Stage's history. And it is the show that we are most asked to bring back. And it's always Patsy Cline. And there's this lovely actress named Zoe Vonder Haar who's going to be playing the role of Louise again. And we cannot wait. It's going to be incredible.
That is a great lineup. I tell you.
Yeah.
I always really have always loved La Cage aux Folles.
Oh, me too. It's
Wonderful.
It is so heartwarming, so hilarious, and very apt. The story it is just about defining family the way you want to define it, and just be okay with that. I love it. It's a very timely story.
And you played that part before?
Louise, I did. I've kissed a lot of bald heads and eaten a lot of Twinkies.
You haven't kissed mine.
I was about to say, get ready, Arnold. There we go.
Look out. I'll make a point
Here
of
across
it.
the table.
I
there.
thought she was going to say she'd kissed a lot of frogs.
That's kind of Louise's thing. She walks to the audience and kisses the bald heads.
Her sugar bear.
Sugar bear.
Yeah. But no, that's how Zoe and I our friendship struck up during that show was always Patsy Cline, because we ran it here at Stages, and then it transferred and ran at the Playhouse at Westport Plaza for a long time, and we were always over there. So that's when we learned we love each other.
And what do you like about the venue where you're at right now? The theater.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's very intimate. I don't think there's a bad seat in the house. It's very warm. I love the intimacy of it.
One of a reviewer in town always calls the Robert G. Rhyme Theater, our current space, a jewel box theater. And I love that because she says that when you open a jewel box, every piece of jewelry in there gets to shine individually. And when you see a show at the Robert G. Rhyme, everything shines individually and as a whole, from your costumes to your set to your actors to your voices to the lighting. You notice it all because of the intimacy of that space.
Like 11 rows?
377 seats, which are
Wow.
almost always sold out. That's why we're moving into a new home in 2021.
Okay,
Yeah.
and that will be?
It's the Kirkwood Performing Arts Center. So we'll be staying in Kirkwood. We'll be right in downtown at the corner of Taylor and Monroe. The city of Kirkwood is actually building this Performing Arts Center in partnership with us, as well as Kirkwood Theater Guild, a community theater in town that has been around a long time. And it will be a brand new theater, state-of-the-art space with a mezzanine, 500 plus seats, a dual level atrium lobby, a black box space for other shows, event space. It's gorgeous, and it's the future for us. So we're very, very excited.
So you can get more information, folks, stagesstlouis.org, stagesstlouis.org. And the Man of La Mancha runs from now until October the 6th. And you can catch Dulcinella and the Impossible Dream there, along with Zoe, and see what's going on with the work that's happening there. Tickets vary in price, or how does that work?
Yeah, so we have a choice and preferred seats available, and so those are we've got some availability for Man of La Mancha. It is selling really well, but especially I think after some of these reviews we're seeing that are starting to come in, I think it's going to sell even faster. But I don't know if you guys ever do anything with Facebook or with any call-ins or anything, but I'd love to offer a pair of tickets to somebody that's listening right now.
Well,
Yeah.
I think that we can certainly do something like that.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of people right now that are listening.
So if the first person wants to text 314-736-4510.
Oh, don't give them that number.
No?
No.
No, don't call that
Too
number.
late. Yeah. Redacted.
Okay, well, I'll give you Ellie's number. No, wait.
Yeah, no. They can actually text me at 314-397-7750. I'm going to give you that again. 314-397-7750. 7750 for everyone who is listening or on Facebook. And the key word is... What's the special word?
To get type in Quest.
Quest.
There we go.
Quest.
Let's go with that.
Quest.
In case you don't know how to spell it.
That's right. Well, we always spell things around here.
It could be.
First one we'll do a pair of tickets.
There we go. Wow.
Yeah.
What a nice thing. We're grateful you guys came in today. It's been a lot of fun.
lovely.
This was great.
Andrea and Zoe, it's been fun to know. And you were actually in the Webster Theater Guild, the one down on.
Yeah. Mike, you are scaring me. Yes, I was part of the Webster Groves Theater Children's. That's where I started taking acting classes.
Yeah. See, it's been fun today, hasn't
my
it?
goodness,
This has been
yes.
great. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's been lovely.
Well, let me just one more time let people know that if you would like a free pair of tickets to Man of La Mancha, all you need to do is text us at 314-397-7750. The word is Quest. Quest. Thank you.
First one wins.
Now, last thing, I want you guys quickly give me about a 45-second answer. What do you recommend to budding theater, musical arts youngsters?
Don't give up. Follow the dream. Follow your dream.
Dream.
Don't take anything personally. Just go for it.
I would say try anything. In my opinion, the best theater artist is a Renaissance artist. So whether you think, okay, I'm an actor, try costumes, try props, try set, try stage management, direct, teach. Just try it all. And then everything that you do in theater will influence the other areas of theater that you want to.
Absolutely.
Try it all, because it's all great.
Those are great answers, Ellie. Those were very similar to what all the artists and musicians that we've had on and literary people that we've had on, they all say very, very similar kinds of things.
Well, it's show business, so you learn the business part of it, and you'll go far.
And that's an important point that you said. It is a business. And we do forget that sometimes, that it is a business and that it must be sustained by our constant support and through the fact that young people come through and that they're continuing to learn.
100%. You have to. I like to use the word grow. I love that word, but I break it down as an acronym of gain, retain, and respect, own, and win. And that's what you need. Is you have to find those new people who are going to be the next generation of theater artists, while respecting and retaining the people that have made your company what it is today. Mm-hmm. And as long as you own those things together, you're going to win. That's all it's about, is making sure that can happen. So grow together and grow far and wide.
That's a great philosophy. We've been listening to Zoe Vonder, Haar, and Andrew Kuhlman. Thank you guys for coming in today on
Thank you so
Into.
much.
Appreciate it very much.